Tony Hawkins has got a podcast. I hope he's better at this than he is washing the kit because he was fucking useless.
Here we are. Episode 12. It's been an interesting week.
It's been busy.
It's been a busy week. It's
been
lively. So,
some
what
feedback,
we're doing,
Tony.
we had a bit of a feedback.
A load of new listeners.
So what we're doing is, what I'm doing is I'm going to have a bit of a chat about that, and then we're going to, it's done.
Doors closed.
So I'm starting with that isn't, despite Malvin's words were
his views
to the point, I would say, but
they were concise, Tony. I'll give him that.
We weren't expecting that.
No.
And
I tell you what, though, I was super excited when he said it.
We weren't expecting it, and it's not what this podcast is about. This podcast is about MK Dons and our matches and the stuff. However, it did air, and Malvin did say those things, and what I want to say is that this podcast isn't about that. That was totally out of the blue, and I never expected it, nor would I have suggested that he talk about it.
Are you reading that off of someone you
No,
read?
I've just made some notes. So it's the first time that that's ever been done, really, in the public domain. It really is. First time in 15 years. No one has ever asked or got a reaction from anybody like that.
Not like that.
Not like that, right? So
it went down well in some quarters.
It went down very well in some quarters.
In other quarters, not so well.
What I want to make the point about is that no one has ever asked for the point of view of the MK Dons fans, or indeed the 300 or 400 Wimbledon fans that came from Wimbledon to Milton Keynes as well.
No.
Nobody ever speaks to them. No one asks for their view on what happened. And I tell you what, the media actually did take the time to speak to people like that and us. Then things might be the same. Because I tell you something now,
not what they want,
I don't know a single decent MK Dons fan. Full stop.
The end.
I don't know a single decent full stop MK Dons fan of a certain age who doesn't agree that Wimbledon moving to Milton Keynes was the right thing. Nobody agrees with it, and nobody thinks it should have happened. Why don't they ask us about that? They don't. It's not because it's not. They're not interested. We don't sit on our fucking seats laughing about it on a Saturday afternoon, but we're the ones who get the abuse. Always, we're the ones that get the blame.
I'm used to it now. I'm glad he said what he said.
Yeah, and that fucking age-old question: why didn't you support MK City?
Go on, Tony. Why not?
Because they're thinking about the team that folded in 2002, 2003, wherever it was, which ironically was a team that moved from London, a Mercedes-Benz team, that then changed their name to MK City. The actual MK City original team, which used to be Bletchley Town, if I remember rightly.
Bletchley Town.
Yeah, folded in the mid-80s. Funnily enough, just after a certain Ron Nodes, chairman of Wimbledon FC,
the crazy guy,
came to Milton Keynes, bought MK City with a view to moving Wimbledon here in the mid-80s, decided that there weren't enough people in Milton Keynes and didn't have the infrastructure, took all his money out, fucked off, and they folded shortly afterwards.
That's a disgrace.
Do we blame the Wimbledon fans for that?
Yes.
You will.
I do.
We don't.
I blame them for everything.
But the point,
I hate them so much, I blame them for Celtic.
Yeah. And that's why we're going to draw a line under this, because there isn't anything else to talk about. And as far as I'm concerned, you can say what you like about us, but we're not to blame.
No.
The fans are not to blame. There are plenty of people that are to blame, but we're not. And we were just talking about certain people who take joy in the suffering of others in Milton Keynes, regardless, aside from the football, anything else. Like we read that thing about the Milton Keynes, the homeless capital of the world, and
does it really?
Or Britain or something.
No, it's not. It's
capital of the world.
No, homeless capital of Milton Keynes.
Homeless capital of Milton Keynes, eh?
Yeah. So, does anybody blame Milton Keynes, Wimbledon fans, for Milton Keynes City's demise because Ron Nodes bought them, then dropped them like a fucking hot potato because it was going to cost him too much? No, we don't. So that's pretty much it then. And the other thing is the drop the Dons thing. Get it out of the way now. Up until about 2006-07, we used to get slated for thinking about dropping the Dons because it was disrespectful. Absolutely disrespectful.
For
forgetting
the fans that went, they said.
Yeah, for the fans that went, you need to keep the Dons. Now, we have to get rid of it, apparently. So, no, fuck it, I don't care. So, you can blame us all you want, and you can slate us for calling MK Dons, But at least we are following MK Dons. We're following our local team. We are not to blame. Wimbledon fans are the victims. They were the victims, but it's not our fault that Wimbledon moved. So bollocks.
Done.
I'll just add
Yes.
that when we restarted this podcast, I've said this publicly, I'll say it again, one of my main caveats for doing this was not to talk about them.
Yeah.
Because basically, when you start talking about them or have any section in your show about them, suddenly it becomes all of them, and I don't want it to be about them.
But
So
do you
this
know-
is
do you know
the
what?
last time we will talk about
Do you
them.
know what though? As I said earlier, the silence from their fans has been deafening this week because they don't want to draw attention to it.
Well, from most of them, but there's been some
Oh, there's
certain
been a
other
couple.
fucking idiots.
But even then, they weren't talking about what Melvin said.
No.
They were talking about other things that apparently we're to blame for, like global warming.
Well, one of them was talking
the
about
Cuban
things
Missile Crisis. Apparently
that
was our
I'd
fault.
done that I'd actually forgotten
Yeah.
that I'd done myself.
And there's photo evidence of an MK Dons fan shooting JFK as
I
well.
think he's
so-
got a spreadsheet, that bloke, with everyone's name in it.
Right,
Just ref-
done. We're done.
Right, we're
That's
done.
it. We're done.
So let's get on to some good
Oh,
stuff.
right, okay, so Grimsby. I've got a review of Grimsby.
Go on.
Have you got one, JT?
I don't know.
You don't have one?
Just my own.
Mine's very exciting. It's come from lunatic cyclist Adam Fairs, who not that long ago cycled to every away
He
game.
did.
Why would you do that?
Because he's an
Seriously.
idiot.
But it led to a great book, which I'm in.
I've read
several
it.
times.
And we're both in it.
Yeah, it's a great book.
That was
isn't
a
it?
good book.
So he says, here's my thought, he didn't say thoughts,
Oh, right.
thought on Grimsby. We came, we huffed and puffed, we lost. Simple, free header for them, and then frankly, they parked the bus and we couldn't pick a shot through them. Almost every shot on target blocked, so not necessarily lack of effort, just bodies in the way. Did you see the highlights? Have you seen the two
actually,
headers we missed?
No, I didn't. I was going to watch them.
Chucks and
I just think it
Kieran.
came. I think. Oh hi everyone! By the way, my boy was fine.
Yeah, he's sitting down.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Without
Sam's
the
back.
aid of a cushion.
Sam is
Or
back.
a-
For all the wives listening, I'm back.
Yeah, housewives'
Housewives'
favourite,
favourite,
minus the
Sam's
boil.
No, I think I saw it, and some people making out that it was but it was just one of them that I think he just maybe had too long to think about it. I don't know. It was just you give him that 100 other times he'd score it. It was just a one-off.
Yeah, there was. We discussed this last night before the game, and Chuck's header appeared to be more difficult to clear. If you were a defender, you'd have got a round of applause for that. It was an absolutely fantastic clearance.
Not from me.
And Adam goes on to say, Wheeler was busy, direct but ring rusty. Will develop in time.
Who
Gilbs
was,
good.
sorry?
Gilbs was good and made some great runs.
Who was ring rusty?
Wheeler.
Wheeler.
All right.
If he could be more accurate on shots for a run, this is Gilby, he could become legendary. Controversial thought, but I don't think we'll progress with Chucks or Agon in the team because they don't give us quality up front in this league. I completely disagree, Adam. With all due respect, mate, I completely disagree.
I'm gonna have I
well,
can't see that when they
he
are
does-
they're sat both with 12 goals each. They're both, I think, the fourth and fifth
Yeah.
top goal scorers in the league. They have 24 goals between them. I can't see how they can't take us forward.
I have written here 2 times penalty shouts not given.
One early on, was it? One early on-ish?
But I've just written that down. I wasn't really
I
paying
think
much
so.
attention.
I was actually moving my daughter into a new flat, so I wasn't paying a huge amount of attention, if I'm honest. So
No, it
that's
was
why
that.
we're going to briefly
Yeah.
very quickly skip over Grimsby away because we lost anyway.
Yeah,
He says he finishes off. Chucks needs to be in the championship. I'll leave the final words on Grimsby to Morrissey. This is the coastal town that they forgot to close down. Except they didn't forget. Every single shop was shut except the bankrupt stock store, and even that had a sale on. I only wish they could use the 3 points to improve the place. It is grim.
They had a man sent off.
They did. Oh, we played
But
45 minutes against
I-
10
10
men. We
men.
forgot to say that, didn't we?
Still couldn't beat them.
I personally, I think I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm not trying to look at the bright side. From my experience of watching football, if you go down, if you're playing a team that you should beat, and they go down to 10 men,
It actually
that
makes it
game is harder. That
Yeah.
game is so much harder because when you got 11, you train all week with a game plan of how you're going to set up, and you'll sit. If your team going to our stadium now, unless you're in the top 6, you're going there to try and snatch a draw, which means you're going to sit back for 80 minutes of the game and try and counter when you can. If you go a man down, they're saying, and at the time it was 0-0, was it, or was it even 1-0 to them? I'm not sure when they got sent off. They are just going to be damaged
they were up on
limitations, sit back, 10 men behind the ball, and make it so difficult for us.
You're absolutely right about the setup.
I think going a man down, if anything, makes it worse for it. So if they had 11 men, they still would have gone for it, which left gaps in their defence and behind their midfield, which would have made it easier for us to break into. Otherwise, I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know, but I'm just assuming that going down to a man, especially that early on in the game, they would have seen out the first half, gone in at half time, their gaffer would have just said, sit tight, we've gone on a losing streak of however many games, I think it was 4 games in a row they'd lost, I think. Let's just get a point.
You effectively end up playing with 2 back fours.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, actually, I think going a man down isn't a good thing. I think if anything, it actually put us in a worse position. Because all they're going to do is sit and frustrate us, and they did.
Well, every Friday before a game, teams they go to training and all they do is shape. They do shape for hours. They do shape for free kicks, corners, they do shape for everything, and that's what the game plan is based on.
Yeah.
Something goes out the window when you go down to 10. I mean, look at us when we beat Peterborough with 9 men.
Yep, that was a good
They
day,
did
that.
it to us. It just shouldn't happen,
That was
but it
one of
does.
the days,
Because players are programmed to play a
They
certain way.
went 1-0 up in the 27th minute, and they had a man sent off in the 41st.
Yeah.
So they had 4 minutes to drive out that second half.
Before
they
they
had
could get
15
in
minutes
and sort it
inside
out.
the changing room where the gaffers and the coaches can sort out tactics, saying, look, we're 1-0 up. And they would probably turn around and said, at that point, if you'd offered us a draw, they would have taken it.
Yeah.
So they would have set back and frustrate us. Now they are second, as we speak now, they are second worst in the last 5 games in terms of form.
And
They've only scored 1 goal in the last 5 games, and annoyingly that was against us.
They've scored
They've
1
conceded
goal in this
7
calendar year.
and had 3 points. They'd lost 5.
Yeah.
So they'd already gone in 1-0 up, 10 men. They'd have said, look, just frustrate him, piss them off, and they did.
Yeah.
It wasn't because, I mean, I was looking at the live text on BBC Sport, and all it was,
I was watching teletext.
every 2
I'm
minutes,
old-fashioned, am.
every 2 minutes it was corner, shot blocked, corner to MK-Dons, free kick to MK-Dons, corner, shot blocked. It wasn't like we didn't try, because we went for it, but they just, sometimes you've got to turn around and say they just maybe defended well. I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. But last
we
night
always
we
know
go and
it
win.
used to be an old cliche on Match of the Day, didn't it? It's harder to play against
That's
10
a
men
cliche,
sometimes.
but, Tony,
it's true. It's absolutely
yeah,
true.
cliches are cliches because basically sometime in the past these things were based on fact. It is difficult to play against 10 men,
It really
but I think we should be beating every other team in this league because I just think we should be, because we should be better than them, and I'm very disappointed at what happened.
That is absolutely
and that's
right.
not just I said it last week that if we didn't win there, it would become a concern for me, and we'll go on to what happened last night, because I thought we were utter shit last night. I'm going to be honest, I really did. I thought we were.
Someone said win
appalling.
ugly, and I think that's absolutely
Well, yeah,
right.
I mean, yeah, winning ugly, yeah. I mean, I you know, like I said to my lad as we were coming out, we were freezing, it was snowing, it was bloody January, it was Oldham, and it was a Tuesday night, and we're in League 2, and you just think, but you know, come like me, you won't be thinking, remember that time it snowed? You'll be just thinking, oh, we took 3 points off of them that night. That's what you don't remember. But what done me was, and this is a bit of a tangent, and I might as well say it now, we were coming out, we got in the car, got the old heater on, and we were thinking, well, thank God for that. And of course, you put 3 counties on, and what do you think they're talking about endlessly now?
Looting.
Just looting. And I was thinking to myself, you know, 2 or 3 years ago, you know, 3-4 years ago, whatever, that was us that was, you know, on the verge
We
of
were
getting
the
up
darlings.
to the championship.
We were the
and you just
media
think to
darlings.
yourself, I'll be honest with you, you know, it's the old thing, the old cliche, like we were saying a minute ago, like it's a Tuesday night, it was snowing, it's January, bloody Oldham, and you're in League 2 and you think, oh, it's great. No, it was shit, to be quite honest. It was. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it was rubbish.
Actually, our mate Albie
You know?
put up a great tweet
We need
last
to
night.
give him a big shout in a
Oh
minute.
yeah.
We'll do that in general chit chat. I've introduced a new section, general chit chat it's called.
Albie said he was one of the 39 fans or whatever that went to Oldham last season. He found it more difficult to motivate himself to go to the game at home last night than it did to go to the away game last season.
But we won.
We won.
And I think since Cambridge, I don't give a shit how we won.
No, I don't care how
And, we won.
I
with 1
mean, I
point.
can stand up and say, you know, it wasn't the best performance. It wasn't the most riveting one. But again, I know, Tony, you'll turn around and you'll say that every player will be up for every single game. And I'm not saying they weren't, but there are certain occasions where you would find, you know, when it's that cold and it's snowing, and you know the form hasn't been great, it would be harder than playing in lovely summer about 3 or 4 months.
Yes, it's human nature. It's human nature.
You know, if it takes 2 penalties to win, then it takes 2 penalties.
Well, shall we move on to
Yeah, let's get on to that.
so,
And
okay, so all bloody Grimsby's done.
Yeah.
Grimsby's done this. Oh, hopefully we won't have to play him next season.
All I wanted last night was just I didn't care how we win, just get a win, back on track.
To be honest,
Going into because this weekend, and I don't want to big up more than this, but it's a massive game.
I really thought most of our wins this season would be similar to last night's. I've been wrong to a certain extent because there's been some decent football, but the reality is that's what gets you up. Those are the sort of results that gets you up.
Yeah.
Tuesday night, snowing, freezing cold, win 2-1.
Yeah, I
job
mean,
done.
yeah, like you say, like someone did say you win ugly. Yeah, I'll take that, but I don't know how to say this. As a spectacle, it is an entertainment business. Football that wasn't entertaining last night. I don't care what anyone says.
You know, given the choice,
wasn't.
would you firstly, would you have paid to go to that game last night?
If I didn't have a season ticket,
if you didn't have a season ticket,
definitely no.
And
if you
did pay for a ticket and you could get your money back afterwards, would you have asked for it?
No,
back?
I wouldn't. No,
because we won.
No, I wouldn't because
no, I know, but at the same time,
you can't.
But like you say, as a spectacle,
I didn't think that was good enough. Can I have my money back? Because if you did, people would be asking for their money back every other week, wouldn't they?
But it's the spectacle, and I thought that's what a lot more games were going to be like in League Two. I really did. I thought pretty much every team was going to come.
I can't remember
put 10 men behind the ball, but
what it was like when we were in League Two. The last time
it was really easy.
Yeah, I mean, it felt easy, even though the first season when we didn't get promoted, it seemed a lot easier.
2 seasons,
yeah.
So we got promoted the 3rd season, and those first 2 seasons, I can honestly say we deserved to go up. And barring taking 2 points or more off Swindon, we would have finished above them.
Yeah.
In fact, we only needed to take 1 point off them because they'd have been minus 3 points, minus 2 points. We'd have had that extra point to get us up. Anyway, that's all done. So on to the game. So Louis' penalty. We've looked at it again.
It was a penalty.
And I was looking between his legs. I wasn't that close to him, but I was looking between his legs. I did ask him today, and he seems to have avoided the question. Would you have rather gone on and scored the goal than be taken down for the penalty? He didn't reply. So
they were both penalties, both of them.
Yeah,
the second one,
absolutely.
The second one, obviously, because in front of where we sit. But the first thing my son said, he turned around and said, "Why's that guy done that?" You think, why did you do it? Because you're an idiot, mate.
Because he gets to a point where you think he's past me, he's going into the area.
But it wasn't even like there was a man
Oh
covering
yeah, and he
him.
was right on the touchline, pretty much, wasn't he?
Covering
He was pretty much.
I mean,
on the
he'd only
touchline.
just gone into the box for the second one when he tackled him. You just think, what, you blind, mate?
And the ref they made it easy for the ref with the first one as well, because not a single one of them moaned. He shrank. I'm sure he shrank throughout the game because he ended up being about 4'3".
I mean, there was guys behind me giving him a lot of abuse, but I'm thinking to myself, it is League Two. He's a League Two standard ref. I mean, they're an easy target, aren't they? But he was so pedantic, wasn't he? Like pulling things back. No, you're 3 centimetres back.
Yeah,
just
didn't need
fucking
to.
just let the game flow, mate. It's a
thing
Tuesday night. It's fucking snowing.
The thing that annoys me about Chuck is I've watched him every game this ever since he's been here, and it frustrates me that a player like him will clearly go and work on his strength and work on the way that he hold the ball up, and he'll get the ball and he'll shield his arms. He won't elbow people. He'll put his arms up to shield the ball, like any good centre forward has ever done.
Yeah.
And he's there for a job, which is he's a big
unit,
bloke.
Tony,
He's
as we used to see when I was in Match of the Day.
And he gets the ball played up to him, and then he'll chase balls down. And the amount of times that he's penalised for simply being stronger than the centre half winds me up. Because he doesn't. If you're calling a foul, you're claiming that player is doing something illegal in the terms of the game. When all he's doing is holding the ball up, and the fact that he is just simply stronger than the other person. Last night there were a couple of times where he was working back so much that it was almost a little bit too elaborate, and he was a little bit not bolshy, but he got a little bit too carried away.
Been booked.
And there were a couple of times where that was a foul, but there were more times where I was like, that is simply not a foul.
Yeah.
All that is that he's gone for a ball, so has Matey Boy, and he is just physically stronger. And why he's penalised for that, I don't know. I don't know whether it's because the League Two, the referees want to make an example, or they want to set the standard, but he is simply stronger than a lot of players.
Well, I've got this is
Sorry,
this is something that
once again, my head's not where it should be.
Toby goes on about a lot is the amount of fouls that Chucks doesn't get. When he was getting him earlier in the season because players were trying to go through him You were never going to get round him. You're never going to out-muscle him. Now they're actually giving him a yard. Whereas before they were right up his arse, they were trying to get round, and he was getting the fouls. Now he's not.
And if you're stood there and you've got a centre half coming, and obviously the centre halves in League Two are big blokes. Yeah. You know, I think the more you go up the leagues, the more athletic and slender they get because they're ball playing centre halves. In League Two, they're big blokes who try to hold them up. If you've got a 6'5", 20-stone bloke behind you, and you can feel him breathing down your neck, you're not going to keep your hands by your side.
No.
You're going to put your arms out to give yourself space and give yourself a yard.
Yeah.
And then that's when he gets penalised. It happened again last night.
He gets penalised, he gets wound up, he gets booked, he loses his train of thought, he loses his concentration, but players will pick up on that. They'll know that does the job.
But it's because people know how good he is.
Yeah.
They try and
wind him up. What, can't get the ball off him, what can I do? Let's wind him up. Let's get a couple of silly free kicks.
I find him very frustrating at the minute, and I don't know if it's just I don't know if he's like this all the time, but his persona is just think he just couldn't give a shit what he's doing. I mean, he scored that penalty last night and just kind of shuffled off. I think if that and me had been running about
it's that old saying, if he was any more laid back he'd fall over.
He would be. I mean,
he is like that.
Must be just how he is.
Very much. Even when he's in the changing room, when he's
just
after training,
very chilled out.
He's very much his own. You know, he's in the changing room. He's got his headphones on.
Well, good for him.
He doesn't really interact with other players.
What do you think he's listening to?
But
it's actually
grime.
If you like grime. A bit of grimy, rappy sort of, he did like my Public Enemy mix.
Dizzy Rascal. That's what I think he likes.
But it's like, do you remember Balotelli? Someone. I mean, this is completely. Someone interviewed Balotelli and said, "Why don't you celebrate when you score?" And he said his job is to score.
Yeah.
So why should I celebrate when I'm? And I think him last night. It's a penalty. You're expected to score. So I think
they were good penalties.
They were two very, very.
I'd like to give them. It was a cracking.
I think
penalty.
He's there against a team with all due respect we should win against. We've not been on a great run, and it's a penalty from 12 yards and he scored it. So I don't think if he went off with a big fucking knee slide and punch in the air and going, thank God for that. You can see why he's like, right, that's it. This is what we expected from us.
I like to see players celebrate.
What if it's because Oldham have signed him? And he didn't want to celebrate in front of his new fans. I'm just saying, he gave the ball to Kieran for the second penalty, didn't he?
I was surprised to see that.
What's your theory on that, JT? What's your theory on that? Why did Chucks give the ball away?
What,
I just think it's to keep him level. To keep him level.
I did find it strange because I did remark, I goes, Kieran, he got.
Bear in mind, considering I've said he is a very gentle soul and very much his own man, but when it comes to stuff like that, it's like trying to break into fucking Fort Knox. You're not going to get.
Well, this is what I always think, that you see them arguing.
He did a lot of running as well, didn't he, Chucks? Did you notice that?
He did
a lot of running. Why was that?
He's scared from something. Someone was chasing him.
I know. Looking at figures that I've seen in my time as kit man, that let's just say his averages aren't quite as high as other people's when it comes to distance covered and so on. So why would he particularly run around like a lunatic last night and give Kieran the ball for a penalty?
I don't know. I have no idea.
He's a fucking walking advert last night, wasn't he?
What do you think?
Like every scout from the Championship onwards was there last night.
Come and get me, please.
There's even a rumour that Paul Scholes was there. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I didn't see him.
I didn't see him. I thought he was running the line in front of me at one point, but then it turns out
Did you see that guy?
It was Gary Waddock instead.
He was so cold. He was like
jumping
about.
He was doing that jumpy up thing.
And then they
never looks cool.
And then they started beating that drum, and it looked like like dancing to their drum beat, mate.
Okay, they just can't. There's no way that a linesman can look cool when he's cold and just trying to.
What I did look at last night, and I always make a point of this when it's shit weather, is to see which players have got short sleeves on.
Yeah, I
always check that. And the amount of Milton Keynes Dons players last night, I think there was only one or two. None of them had long sleeves on. One of them had one of those Under Armour things. I can't remember who it was, but the majority of them.
Gilby had one.
The majority of them, and you think to yourself, I like to see that.
Do they actually have long sleeve versions of shirts?
Yeah. But
they do, because I've honestly
very
not.
Rare.
I think they wear short sleeves. I know when you were there, they had long sleeved as well.
Yeah, I printed.
But I have not remembered printing a long sleeve.
Yeah, I can remember it. Two
I don't
players.
Think they have.
Two players. It was Dean Bowditch, who liked a long sleeved every now and again. But in my time as kitman. He never wore a
because I've done all of the player shirts this season so far, and I have not printed one long sleeve shirt.
Yeah,
none of them had gloves on either.
Jake Forster-Caskey was the
Chucks
other one.
Did he?
Because I thought they looked a little bit too small for him.
Yeah, everything looks a bit too small on top.
No one's going to sign him there, are they, wearing gloves?
Jake Forster-Caskey was the only other one who actually wore a long sleeve shirt on the pitch. I did print a few others, but they were never worn.
Cody Cropper wore one, didn't he?
Yeah.
What did you think about them, Oldham?
Do you know what I thought?
They were, they surprised me.
Number 17.
Oh, let me either number 17 or number 27. I think it's 17. Carry on what you're going to say.
Number 17, very good.
Right, go on.
Very,
I'll tell you for
good.
why I'll disagree with that. Why
Also,
do you think he was
12,
good?
Was it? I mean, me and my mum can't see a fucking thing, even though we're sat right nearly on the touchline.
I'll tell you why I thought number 17. Initially, I thought he was good, but then I thought, hang on a minute. He was running quite literally all over the pitch, from one side of the pitch to the other, and he was chasing things down. And you think, oh, ill done. And I thought to myself, hang on a minute, where are you supposed to be? What's your no? I'll tell you for why. Right. I thought, where are you supposed to be? What's your position? Have you been given that completely free role? Because they say, oh, he's got a free role, but your free role is not to literally run about the pitch like a headless chicken.
What was the story with Conor McGrandles? But he spent a lot of time on the left.
Christopher Missilou, number 17.
Christopher Missilou.
He done a lot of.
What was number 12? Was number 12 playing or was
number 12? They don't have a number 12.
I need to know this because I need to ask an Oldham fan about it.
They don't have a number 12. They haven't got. Well, I mean, this.
I don't know. I can't see.
No, they didn't have a number 12.
I can't really see the numbers. Sam was impressed with some of their shirt prints, though. Number 22 was it? Number 22.
Yeah, I think it was a double-barreled name.
It was a double-barreled name, and
Branga Engon, and
it was an archway.
It was so long they had to straighten the top and then go down.
Oh, it was fantastic looking shirt.
Like a set of vampire teeth.
Yeah, well, that's very much so. Or if you will, one of those moustaches.
Yeah, what was his name? Jason King. You don't get that, do you, Sam?
Anything else on Oldham to discuss?
Yeah, I want to talk about Department S and Jason King.
Department S? Fucking hell.
No, nothing.
Oldham. Last 15 minutes, we looked like we were going to score again, but we didn't, obviously. But it looked like it was going to be finishing 3-1 rather than 2-0.
There was at no point in that game last night where I was confident that we were going to win. Quite literally right up.
Oh, by the way, their goal.
It was a good goal.
Technically,
goal from their right back.
Absolutely.
I watched it again tonight. It was a very good goal.
Absolutely brilliant. I thought Lee took off late, but it was just because it was just moving so quick.
You can't.
It was just shot past him.
It came out and he just laid it, and it was a very.
He got everything right.
You can't take anything away from that.
He got his foot over it. He didn't lean back.
Lee had a couple of good saves. I mean, he came out. I mean,
fantastic saves.
He came out for a corner. I didn't know whether he was going to catch it or punch. I think he kind of was caught in between.
Came out palms
up. But then
up,
from that, he made a very, very good save, which I didn't realise until we watched it back.
No, because I said afterwards, I don't know what happened there, and it was a save by.
And the one-on-one just before that again.
Yeah.
Did very well.
So I mean that was probably about as exciting as Grimsby, and we weren't even at Grimsby, so I really don't know what to say about that.
But we will be at Exeter.
We will be at Exeter.
On the way down, we'll be driving down. Yeah.
I better check the weather. It's going to be nice at the weekend. It's going to be up to 7 degrees.
So.
7 degrees?
Well, apparently.
Oh, I'll get my t-shirt on.
So that'll be good. Leaving about 9 a.m.
We get this guy at work. He's from Sunderland. I went into work today, right, with a woolly hat on, a massive fleece, and a scarf and big gloves, and I'm not joking when I say this. This guy wanders in just a t-shirt. I swear to God, either bloody Sunderland.
These Northerners, you just don't know what.
It was ridiculous.
Right, so JT, do you want to catch up on feedback?
I've got general chit chat, which I've
general chit chat. Let's have it.
There's not a lot about it, but I would like to give young Albie some kudos for what he done at the weekend.
Yeah, didn't actually realise what he'd done until he actually took the excerpt. Yeah. To 2,600
when I looked at it last night, it was 2,640 odd views.
So fair play, Albs. Well played,
so that
son.
was good.
Well played.
You're still not coming on.
No, you're not. no. And you can. He's now posting me cat poo.
Oh, cat poo.
rather than
downgraded.
Rather than human poo. So.
Well, that's a step up or a step down. I
don't know. I don't like cat poo. It just smells wrong.
It does smell. It smells like shit.
Yeah. But like bad shit.
Oh yeah, it's not good shit. I think that's it really. I was going to thank all our listeners from the southwest London area. I'm quite.
I thought you had feedback corner from last week.
I've got loads of feedback. This is general chit chat.
Go.
Mate, you don't know your sections, Tony.
It's almost as if this isn't scripted.
Right, feedback corner. These are. I couldn't tell you when these are from. They're just bloody
stuff
that's come up from ages ago, and we've been busy the last couple of weeks. Right, this is from Corner Don, and he's going regarding Russell Martin. Remember we were talking about him, and you were saying, "Oh, I thought he was a striker, weren't you?"
Yeah.
So what this guy says, you're probably thinking of the Norwich striker Chris Martin.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then he's also saying
not the Coldplay singer.
No.
Yeah. Regarding
actually, Russell Martin's probably a better singer than Chris Martin, and the other Chris Martin's probably. In fact, Chris Martin's just a shit singer. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I've said it.
I got to be honest.
Listen to him live.
I have.
Listen to him live. It's not pretty. It's not pretty.
Anyway,
what fucking joke, Jesus. Oh dear. Anyway, he's also said regarding that under-23s game you're on about.
Yeah.
It appears Michael Turner and Stephen Whittaker, or as I like to call him, Judas.
Yeah.
Both played, which adds to the nonsense of the under-23s playing in the Johnson's Paint Trophy with senior players playing.
They did have a very good team out that night. A very good team.
There's another big bit here about kit questions for you if you want me to ask you it.
Have I seen this?
No, I don't know.
Go
you
on,
might have.
Go on.
He has a couple of KFT questions, whatever the hell that is. I don't know what KFT means.
Kit Fat Tony.
Kick Fat Tony.
Yeah.
Kick Fat Tony.
Yeah, Kick Fat Tony.
And he's got some questions for you.
Yeah.
And at some point regarding the kits, he said, many of us hate this year's kit. It's grown on me, I must admit.
Okay.
I wasn't keen on it when it first started, but it's good now. But due to the success on the pitch, it's been sort of forgotten. Well, fucking hell, mate, I don't know when you wrote that. It must have been ages ago. Does the management and Winkleman have much of a say at this level in terms of designs, or do ERA, whatever they're called, get all the creative control?
In my time, Carl had a lot to do with the design of the shirts. The chairman has this thing about having 3 bespoke kits. Now, in general, I'm right here, Sam, that your average Adidas, Puma, Nike, they'll have identity.
They must have
identity kits. So your home kit is your own, your own design.
No.
And they'll give
still
you 2
templates. No, it's still templates.
Must
all
be
3
templates.
So basically, at the beginning, so when you're in Adidas, so Araya are the second highest manufacturer in the Football League behind. Go on, guess. Araya are the second. They've got 18% of clubs. Araya in the Football League.
Behind.
Who do you think is just the main kit supplier in the?
I'm assuming it's not Puma, Adidas, or Nike.
It's Puma.
Oh, it's Puma. Yeah.
So Puma have sister clubs called Genesis. Genesis basically mean if you're a Puma club, then Genesis are a sister company who will give you leisure wear, and you have contracts with both effectively. So if you've got a Puma kit, you have to spend a certain amount with Genesis to get in like normal t-shirts and so on. Araya allow us to do our own kits,
and they are one of the few.
They're one of the few who will let us do it, which is great.
If Where are they from? Which country?
Italy.
Italy.
If we were to go to an Adidas or to a Nike or to someone like that, which we have, been Nike before, then it effectively means that Nike will come to us and they will say, right, here are 5 new template kits that we've done. Which one do you want? We'll have that one. Okay, they'll sell a badge on and give it over to us, and we are like every other club in the Football League.
Yeah,
it's been
made very
colours. Yeah, with different colours.
And maybe a stripe.
Pete is very much, that MK Dons is a new club and he wants to keep it modern and unique, and Araya allows us to do that.
I heard a rumour, it might have been from you, Tony Hawkins,
yes,
that the reason why there's gold in this year's strip is because Pete's a Wolves fan, and that was a nod to them.
That isn't.
Is that a load of shit?
Is that a genuine rumour?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not joking.
Absolute.
Oh my
bullshit.
lord!
So you didn't say that then?
That wasn't me.
Oh, I've definitely heard that.
No, that's just funny.
And on the
is he a Wolves fan?
He is a Wolves fan. Yeah, that's his team. Yeah.
No, it is not. No,
I tell you what. In fact, the only place in the country, football ground wise, where he's been and got a round of applause. Wolves when we beat them 2-0 at their place.
Not King's medal.
He went on he was in the programme saying he's been a lifelong Wolves fan.
Oh, good for him.
Absolutely, categorically no.
Good for him.
So on the home kit and the kit in general, that happens every season. Every single season, the home shirt comes out, and half the fans go, "I don't like it."
The reason for why I think people don't like it is because when we had that Marshall one, I mean, that was the best.
You're never going to beat it.
No,
I mean,
never.
Firstly, it's got Marshall on the front. It's never going to be
a lovely kit.
Do you know the fastest selling shirt I ever saw was when I found a load of boxes full of ISC shirts in a cupboard with Marshall on them. They had the wrong sponsor. So I stuck it up on the concrete roundabout. All the adult sizes pretty much sold out within 2 hours. Because people want that Marshall.
You know what's funny? This year in the shop, people have come in and they have said, one of two things. Either one of which they say, I absolutely love this kit. I shit you not, it's the best one we've ever done.
What, this one?
I have some people say it's the worst one we've ever done.
It's not the worst one.
No, not even close.
But in terms of selling, it has been one of the best.
It's a nice shirt. All three are nice.
It is. And
I remember the first time when you got out of the boxes, when we stood in there, and I hadn't seen it. I'd seen the cats, but I hadn't seen the shirt.
The problem is, when we launched it in the summer, with the World Cup and everything, which turned out to be great because that's the night when England beat Tunisia, I think it was. I can't remember. Because we didn't have the actual physical image on a mannequin at the time, we went by the CADs the pictures that Araya sent us. The pictures didn't do them justice.
They didn't, no.
And then when we got the pictures and images, and I thought, yeah, that's nice. And obviously, I'd seen it about 3 months before, so I had time to grow to it. Because when I first saw it, I was a bit like, I'm not sure.
The red one didn't look like anything like the shirt. The CAD drawing of the red shirt. This is going to sound really weird, right? But a CAD drawing of the red shirt did not look like the red shirt.
It looked like something you'd find in La Liga.
Yes, it was
very,
really
very
weird.
different.
And
then when we got them, it was like,
because
I remember showing you and thinking, actually, these are quite nice. And people come in, and I've had people come in to buy tickets. They'll see the shirt and they'll go, "Who designed that? That's absolutely horrible." Blah blah blah. They'll turn around, they'll buy their ticket, and then they'll kind of do their thing where they get the ticket, they'll have a little wander around the shop, and then they'll look at it, then they'll touch it, then they'll take it off the hanger and have a look at it, weigh themselves up and say, I actually quite like this.
Yeah. It's the thing, it's first impressions, isn't it? It's always the same.
And I actually think on the pitch, I think it actually looks really
I like it. It's the end of it. It's
right,
nice.
He's also said, this is his final bit for this question, he's also said he remembers in the 2004-2005 season there were rumours of a yellow and blue kit, but we ended up with the yellow and red design instead. Were there ever any discussions of ever having a Wimbledon inspired design behind the scenes?
Yes, there were. The season we had the yellow and blue goalie shirt, in specifically that season, Carl was quite keen on the idea of having a again, don't quote me on this, but I think the chairman had the final word on that and said no. So we compromised and got the yellow and blue goalie top, which is still to this day my favourite goalie shirt. I just like those colours. I really do.
I don't know.
Not because they're Wimbledon colours, just nice.
Whenever I've done it, I mean, I've never really ordered anything to do with blue, so I wouldn't even know.
They're not our colours. Our
colours I've never been told,
red,
you
white,
know,
black,
you can't order just because of them. It's just because our colours at the moment are
red, white, black, and gold.
Yeah.
Right, this is another one.
Yeah.
There are loads more, so if you've not done it, you can just fuck off.
You haven't killed yourself by now.
Right, this is from a guy called Fraser, and he's talking about that time how the changing room was set up.
Yeah.
They were all in groups. He said a load of other stuff, but I'll cut right to the bit he said. He said it might not be the most exciting thing to cover, but could Tony give a quick insight into other managers' preferences? Could he also talk about if it's the same for training, or can they go where they want in the training?
What, in terms of where they sit?
Yeah.
So in the changing room, so the players don't train at the stadium, but they come to the stadium in the morning for breakfast, and they get changed in the away change. We don't use the home changing room because that remains special for matches only. So throughout the week they use the away changing room, and every player has their spot. They're not allocated that spot, they just happen to be, that is their spot. So basically the longer a player has been there, so it always used to be Dave, other goalie, whoever it was at the time, Ian or whoever.
Cody Cropper.
Yeah, Cody. Then Louis. Then it was, every player had their spot, but it wasn't given to them. So on a match day, Carl had Carl had the team out in formation. When Robbie came, I said to him, what do you want me to do about putting the kit out? Because this is how I do it. I put it in formation. Do you want me to do that or whatever? Do you want it in number order? And he said, Tony, I don't give a fuck. And that was that. So he literally didn't care how the kit was laid out, so I just went number order and then subs in number order, because that was easier, because I didn't have to hide the shirts from the opposing coaches who would come in for a quick chat. The manager of the other team might come in just to say hello, but really he was just trying to see what formation we were playing.
He's also asked if you've ever seen any cliques form in the dressing room, and if so, how have the managers dealt with it?
There's nothing to do with. You had the older players, you had the players who basically stayed on their own, you had the younger players, then you had the younger players. They had their own little groups. They didn't do anybody any harm, and there was no reason. There was one concern a few years ago. We signed a player who didn't integrate into the group at all, and it was a little bit of a worry. We were concerned, but turns out it wasn't an issue. So you can be in a clique, you don't have to be. You can be on your own, doesn't matter. Certain players haven't integrated and they've not stayed around for very long, let's put it that way.
He's also asked about our top 5, top 10 loans, but we'd have to
Oh no, we'd have to think about that.
That's not something we can do off the top of our head.
Benicophobe and Will Grigg, there you go, there's top 2.
Dele Alli when he came back.
Yeah, Dele Alli when he came back. Dele, Will, Lewis Baker.
Yeah, we would have to go through that, wouldn't we? Yeah, that's something we'd have to research.
Yeah.
Ethan Ebanks Landale.
And then this is from David Saunders, and he's that thing we were saying last week about what any of the players ever commenting on Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And said, I thought Louis had said something before, and he's
the quote, yeah.
Louis' quote was, he said he's got some family down near Kingston, that is.
Yeah.
And that's what he said, that is it.
Yeah, that was, in the context, that was very funny at the time. So.
There is a load of other feedback corner, but I've had a shit day at work and I didn't get the time to.
Well, we can carry it over again.
Yeah, we'll carry it over.
Sam,
keep sending them in
now. Do you
now.
want to do tickets?
Can you do tickets? Yep.
So we do tickets?
Shit,
you caught me off guard here.
I think I might have to turn that heater back on, it's freezing.
Exeter on Saturday.
Yes. Well, seeing this is now going out on Friday evenings,
Friday
not
evening,
Saturday
you have
morning,
to go some.
It kind of.
It almost works, except it doesn't. Because the coach leaves before the shop opens.
Tomorrow,
there you go.
So tomorrow morning, which means now you have to put it out on Friday because I've said tomorrow now.
Yeah.
The coach is leaving at 8:30 in the morning. So if you're a season ticket holder, it's £24 on the coach, which might sound expensive, but when you're trying to go over there on the train, it's an absolute nightmare. Me and Tony were looking.
£63?
Being around no, that's just one way.
Oh no, it was 102.
It's about £102 return with if you haven't got a rail card from Milton Keynes. So £24 isn't actually too bad.
And National Express, this is my favourite, JT. Right. National Express, £62, I think. £62. Get on the coach at 9:45 Saturday morning. Gets you to Exeter at 4:45.
So you
just
catch stoppage time.
Yeah, you catch it. But by the time you got off the coach and walked to the stadium, it'd be big.
The one more thing we spoke about a couple of weeks ago when I was on it last time, I don't know if you spoke about it or not, but the away end terrace does have a roof.
Good. I'm going now.
Yeah,
it does have a roof.
Yeah.
So just in case you're not sure, we've done 109. Well, just around 200 already for Exeter, which is good.
Yeah.
So we've got two prices. You've got seated and standing. So adults is 23 or 17. Obviously 17 is cheaper for standing.
£23.
£23
to stand.
To sit.
Oh right.
In their new stand.
New stand, Tony.
New stand.
It's worth it.
I think it's a new stand they use. Anyway, concessions are £20 seated or 14 standing, and under 18s are 11 seated or £6 standing. Like I said, the travel leaves at 8:30 from the stadium. That leaves at 8:30. So if you're going to actually go on a coach, you've got to be there 8:15.
No, earlier than that.
And
you be there an hour before it leaves.
If you're not sure,
an hour?
Obviously the box office opens. The box office opens at 9:30. So if you want to buy a ticket, just make your way down there, and you can pay on the day when you get there. But it's £1 increase. For Carlisle, they're doing a big feature, which is 8k to MK. 8k for MK, sorry.
They want to bring 8,000 fans to that.
No, not us. They
want
Carlisle are doing 8k for MK, which they want to have.
I'd have gone down to the stadium to see us watch Carlisle. Expected to see
8,000.
So this is the away game. Are you listening?
Right, I'm listening.
So Carlisle
confused.
They want a crowd of
8,000 for when they play.
And this is
I wonder why you were so shocked.
I was looking at you in the pub thinking,
no.
Carlisle are never bringing 8,000
What they've
fans.
done,
8,000
on the positive, I know it's a bloody fucking long way.
Yeah.
But the tickets are only a tenner for adults.
That's too far.
But it's £85 on the coach.
And students. The students is 18 to 22 is a £5. Under 18s are £2, and under 7s are free. The travel is £35,
and it leaves at
season tickets and leaves at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. That's not bad.
That's not too bad, is it?
No,
there's no increase on the day for tickets. So if you make a random, if you get pissed on a Friday night and you decide that you want to go,
well, why not?
Then go up. You can buy a ticket there. It's only a tenner.
I'm going there.
Even consider flying. So they're the two main games on sale now. I'll be honest, I wasn't at work today, so I don't know if we've got any other games on sale. But we've got, and obviously we've got Swindon a week Saturday.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Which will be a good game, actually.
I do like playing Swindon.
Yeah, I do.
There's still a little bit of need of winter.
I don't like them.
Swindon.
The return leg, me and Tony are on the pitch.
Yeah.
And your mum thought I was a woman.
Woman, yeah, laughing, yeah.
So yeah, that's all I've got. Really. I mean, we've already done 100 for Carlisle away, which I think is quite a good effort.
That's good. I
think because it's a Saturday as well, and a lot of people.
It's a Saturday. It's only a tenner. A lot of people want to do it.
We did play them a lot on
and
Tuesday
it's Valentine's
nights.
Day weekend, which is an excuse for blokes to get away. So
I'm gonna that weekend.
Right, so we've got. Is it quiz time?
Oh, I forgot about the quiz.
Come on, John. This will perk you up, son. This will
so
perk
it's
you up.
1-0, isn't it? It's 1-0.
I'm down. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Apparently, we're now on aggregate as well.
No, okay. I mean, I actually can't remember that.
I'm sorry, I've been a bit down. I've had a shit day at work.
I'll make it better if you win. If you lose,
come on.
If you lose, it's just a general terrible day for you.
I've had a shit day. I can't get any worse.
Right, we ready then?
Aye, go on.
Cool. Right.
What year is he born?
3rd of July, 1993.
So he's 25. Chuck's an EK.
Kieran Egard.
The first one to get it from a date of birth.
Who?
You.
Oh, well done.
Oh my lordy!
Fuck.
Actually, do you know, it could have been Kieran as well.
Oh, well. No, Kieran.
Kieran's a bit older, isn't he?
Oh,
Well,
that's possibly the greatest thing I've ever done in my life.
That cheered me right up, that. I don't think.
67 apps, 25 goals, representing England from under 16 to under 19.
See, I wouldn't have got it from that.
Started at Arsenal and we signed it from a Belgian club.
I would have got it.
Yeah, I would have got that, yeah.
Next one. Fuck's sake.
Walking away with that already.
15th of June 1973.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, 73, so he's 45.
45? He's played for... Is it Haman?
Oh, mate, you've done me, ain't you? It's not Alan Smith, that's the only other older player I can...
No, it's not even them.
Not even them.
11 apps, no goals.
Ooh, 11 appearances. Is it George Bancoli?
Ooh, is it Willie Gray?
No.
Oh.
Right, next one. Rangers signed him for 12 million in
Flo!
2000.
No! Torrento
Flo, Flo.
Hey,
Next one.
Get in!
He played for 4 English clubs, including MK Dons, and he started his English football at Chelsea for the next others.
And he was shit at Rangers. Was that your final thing?
1-1.
Expensive fucking load of shit ever.
Next one. 2nd of Jan, 1983.
Oh, he's also played an elderly gentleman.
35. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Alan Smith, I'm going.
What date was it?
Why does it make a difference? 2nd of January.
Oh, 2nd of January.
Oh, that's. Oh, I want to know that, right?
Fucking idiot.
Stop saying it.
Colin Cameron.
No.
Oh, he's much older than that.
He started
95.
at Everton.
Sean O'Hanlon.
Oh, Darren Potter.
2-1 JT.
Yes! I knew he started there.
So now, no, if you want to win, you've got to get them all now.
Yeah.
Oh, pressure, Tony.
Pressure! Oh, come on. See, I peaked too early, didn't I?
The others were 157 apps, 15 goals for him.
He scored 15 goals.
He played for England under 20s twice, and he was signed by Hibs from us in 2011.
I remember that.
Oh! So there's 2 more, so you've got to pull your finger out.
Yeah.
26th of December 1982.
Alan Smith. Oh no, I don't believe I've just done that.
Why do you do it?
What date?
Why
82.
Make a fucking...
Because
you've already said it now. Boxing Day. 1982.
Right.
Boxing Day, 82. Swales.
No. Played for England C twice.
It's bloody hell, Ben Harding.
Ben Chorley.
No.
Oh.
66 appearances, 12 goals.
Ooh. Aaron Wilbraham.
Wade Small.
No. Oh. He won the Conference North title with Southport in the 04-05 season.
You know what's the answer to that. You say Stockport?
Southport.
Southport, not Stockport.
Not Stockport, Southport.
Southport. 04-05.
Danny Swales.
I've said him.
Have you?
Fucking honestly, jeez.
He was the one I said. Pass, I don't know.
No? Not even a punt.
No.
Southport.
Southport. I'll see Wade Small again, I don't know.
Last one is that he currently plays for Brackley Town.
Carl Baker.
Oh, just you jumped me to
it's this is the first time it's come down to decide it.
I didn't know he dropped into
Desmond.
Non-league before.
No, he didn't drop into it. That was on his.
Oh, his trajectory.
That was on his rise.
That's
it was
what
15
threw me.
years ago, isn't it?
That's what threw me.
Right, last one.
Yeah.
25th of October 1978. So he's 40.
He's 40.
Alan Smith.
No, Colin Cameron.
13 appearances, no goals.
13 appearances.
How old is he? 40.
40.
Is it that shit goalkeeper, that Spanish idiot?
Adolfo Baines.
Adolfo Baines. No.
He played, and I counted this earlier, he's played for 22 different clubs.
Bloody hell, he's a journeyman then, Tony. A journeyman he is.
I've got it.
It's Wilbraham.
He's going to get it before me.
Aaron Wilbraham.
Huh?
Is that your guess?
That's
No,
my
but
guess.
is it right?
Well,
Tell
I'm not going to say anything until you give me a guess.
Well, if it is right, you might as well say, because I wasn't going to say Aaron
Well, you
Wilbraham
can't
anyway.
say that.
Yeah, but if I say it's not right, then you're going to guess anyway.
Oh, I've got a player in my head.
Right, so who?
It's gone. Hold on.
Fuck's sake. Jesus Christ.
Every week we get
You said Aaron Wilbraham, and I was going to say...
If you ask me when he was born again, I'm not going to tell you.
What is date?
No, honestly, it's gone. It's completely gone.
Right, move on then.
It was a striker. It was a striker. Sure it was. Why did you say Aaron Wilbraham?
Because that's who I thought
That's
it was.
friendly. No.
Oh.
I know who it is. I'm pretty sure I know.
We should have some kind of a
Alright,
time
listen.
limit.
As you've already answered,
Right.
you can give me the answer because I know this person and I can describe.
No,
I can
don't-
describe
don't
something
guess
he
it.
did,
Okay.
so that you can give me his name. How about that?
Okay.
And I'll share the points with you.
No, that's
No,
not.
because then it's going to be a draw.
Yeah, that's
Drew
fair.
Broughton. It is, isn't it?
What was that? 3-2. Oh, mate. That's a good one. He's a good deal.
When you said 22 clubs, I thought it's
Yeah.
the only man on
Next
the planet it
one's,
can be.
I couldn't believe it. He's fucking been around. And he's from Hitchin. Didn't realise that. Look, well, according to his Wikipedia, he's from
He is,
Hitchin.
yeah.
I didn't know that. So next time I see him, because I'm selling his books for him in the
He's
shop.
actually a decent bloke, he is.
He was
Yeah,
a very
no,
nice
I've-
man. Very, very nice man.
Next one, he started at Norwich, playing 9 and scoring 1, and the last one would have got it. Is that he played in the JPT semi-final, and I thought I might throw because he scored the winning penalty, not an actual. So he didn't score for us, but he scored the winning penalty.
He scored the winning penalty
against
because
Swansea.
Everyone will remember
everybody
that.
to a man in the stadium went,
oh no.
oh fuck. Because to be fair, he didn't set the world alight
He's a nice
when he was
bloke,
with
but
us.
as a footballer, Tony, there was room for
Yeah.
improvement.
So 3-2, Tony, 2-1 up.
Come on! Well
Well
played,
done.
son. Well played.
Yeah.
Well
Oh,
played.
that was good.
That was a good game. Good game, that
What
one.
was this week? Pressure's on me now.
I've got to a point now where I should have written down every player that I've used because I'm now going, I've used him. So at some point we might
Listen,
have to branch
so
out to...
When I was listening to the podcast the last time we did the quiz, and I still couldn't remember.
Were you still shouting
I still
out?
couldn't remember. The Sam Baldock one, which I got.
Which one was it? The one where you didn't get Carl McFadzine, and the way the Podbean is on my app on my Bluetooth on my phone, I've got to turn it up to about 25 out of 30 on my car.
Yeah.
And you went, fuck! And it nearly broke my fucking speaker. And my girlfriend was in the car at the time. She went, she shit herself.
Oh, it's competitive stuff. This
3-2 Tone. Well done.
3-2. Well,
No, sorry,
what a
2-1.
game. What a
Overall,
game.
it's 2-1.
2-1. We're not keeping aggregate score anymore because Sam's
Let's
forgotten.
just go for head to head.
But
Oh well,
have a 4-0,
no,
didn't
can't
he?
say I'm not
Did John have
disappointed.
a 4-0?
I did once. See?
He had a 4-0, so he's
Yeah,
probably still
those
winning
days
on
are
aggregate.
gone.
And technically,
That was my Cambridge moment. That was.
Yeah. Right, so predictions for Exeter. Well, I'll tell you one thing, it's going to be a lively occasion, that's for sure. 'cause
Yeah, they're
they've
having
got
all
some-
banners made. Tony.
They've got. So, did you see that bloke I was winding
Got
up on Twitter?
material.
The
Tony.
bloke I was winding up on Twitter,
Fucking idiot.
telling him, "Well, why are you making banners with the franchise on?" We're not. Well, that's what I've heard. No, we're not. We're not. Have you not? Do you know what we're doing? We're being real fans. I said, look, mate, I'm just wasting time till the washing machine finishes. So.
And then
And he liked my tweet, which I thought was fair play to him. So I don't know. It's going to be really difficult.
I don't know
They're
because
form, aren't they?
I
They've
looked
gone good
at
form
the
at
table.
moment.
Basically, if they won, they wouldn't overtake us. They'd
No.
be level on points, but unless they beat us 10-0.
By the way, we're
God,
still
I've got to touch
six.
some wood
Which,
now,
Yeah,
but
they're on 47 points. Isn't
they're on 47. We're on 50. So you know,
Whatever
if we
happens.
win, we can go as high as level on points, joint third.
With
So
Bury. I'm going to go 1-0 to us, and let's get in, get 1-0, come home.
I don't know what the score
I'm
was,
going 1-0.
but yeah, I'd say if we come away with a point, I think that's a good day's work.
If I offered you a
because-
point now, would you
yeah.
take it?
Offer him it.
No, I want to win.
No, I agree. I
wanna win.
would agree.
Yeah,
I want to
never-
win, but
If there's anyone who can stop them playing and know how they're going to play, it is going to be Paul
Tisdale.
Tisdale, isn't it? because their gaffer now was his assistant for years.
Yeah, but he's also going to know how Tiz does. So
exactly.
What's his name? David Wagner and Jurgen Klopp, best friends.
So who knows? I think it'll be a really good game. I'm actually quite excited for not excited for the 5 hours or whatever long it's going to take, but we'll see. But I think 1-1. I think 1-1.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be 1-1.
John's definitely not had a good day because he hasn't even mentioned the 2-0 phrase yet.
No, I mean I don't even think it would be. I don't know. I've had a shit day.
You don't think there's 2 goals in it? Well, unless it's 1.
Oh, look at that! It's 3-1 at Cowdenbeath. That's cheered me up.
Rangers. I mean, seriously, Cowdenbeath are like.
Yeah,
that's not even a
conference.
It's a made-up name.
Kyle Lafferty scored, which always cheers me up.
Is he at Rangers?
Yeah, you fucking idiot.
Or has he gone back to Rangers?
5 stars tattooed on his neck.
Oh, Jesus.
Kyle Lafferty.
Right. Yeah. Anyway,
is that it?
I think that's it. So
Kyle Lafferty kills the pod.
We'll be back next week, so send us your shizzle to mkdonsradioshow@gmail.com. Quiz questions to Sam on
sam.swanton@hotmail.co.uk. So if anyone's driving down or however you're going to go to Exeter, it's going to be long however you go.
And it doesn't have to
be...
So
you've got plenty of time to look up some Wikipedia facts about some ex-players. I just need 5 facts that start with his date of birth.
And you can listen to this podcast 5 times there and 5 times in Amoeba.
Yeah, you can actually, yeah.
Please download it every time you want to listen to it. Don't just listen to the same episode.
Yeah, download, because we don't get figures for... Nope. I know everybody listens online these days.
Yeah, we don't get...
That's what the kids are doing.
I was talking to someone about that last night. I said if you was to pay a bit extra, it would then give me like streaming figures, but I'm not paying the extra just to...
Can you get the amount of bandwidth out of them? Because then we could just divide that by the amount of...
I guess I could do it, but
size of the file.
I can't really be arsed if I'm being
honest.
honest.
They might compress the file anyway. Who knows? Anyway, we'll see you next week. Enough about file compression.
File compression.
And see you at Exeter.
Bye.
See you soon.